Hey guys, welcome to our review of The Mandalorian, episode 2, here on Go Mando. As always, I'm your host, Frozen Stratos. Here with me today we have
Makotoa.
my dude. Welcome back. So we watched this episode, and I enjoyed it. I did not know coming off of episode 1, just because it is a first episode. It's one of those things that you don't know how much of it's gonna move into the rest of the season, what kind of
Yeah.
status quo we're gonna set up, because anything can change from the pilot to whenever. So I'm glad to see the tone really stayed the same. Um, we got some really good adventures. It just seems like each episode so far is a relatively self-contained adventure that has a satisfying beginning, middle, and end. It's just straight fun. I don't know, straight adventuring.
I will say
I
I
enjoyed it.
wish that our adventuring had a little bit more time on it because this episode was 30 minutes and it was not even a full 30 minutes because those credits are heck long for some reason. We also got an intro and I'm just sitting here like, dang, if we've only got 8 episodes of this and it's less than 30 minutes an episode, I'm just like, this isn't enough for me. I want more.
I
Um,
did in going into episode 2, the biggest criticism, which I guess is a good thing, is that it was too short. So that's the only thing I went into this episode with, like the expectation of, okay, I know this is gonna cut off at a less than ideal spot, so I'm
mhm.
just gonna enjoy what I can, and it was really good.
Yeah.
Um,
I liked it more
just
than
getting
the
to
first episode personally.
Yeah, yeah, and I think it has a lot to do, at least for me, it had a lot to do with like we didn't have to spend time setting up any loose plot threads or anything. We just had he lost his parts, he needs to get them, got him back through this task, and then fix the ship. And on top of that, we get to see a very satisfying conclusion to the dude that has spoken. Uh, I don't know his name. Um,
Yeah, yeah, you're
I
right.
I appreciated that. I also wonder what planet they're on, just because I our Jaw was a galaxy wide species. Like, how does that work for them? Where do they? What?
They like the desert planets because then they can just steal people's stuff in the middle of nowhere.
Hmm.
You know?
Um, and also looking at that egg thing, I was wondering what evolutionary purpose did it serve for the egg to be hairy? Which, again, very minor. I don't even know if it's a contrivance. It was just a weird thing that went through my mind. Like, why would this egg be hairy? What, what is the point? What point does
I
that
think the
serve?
contrivance that went through my mind was we have a gun that actually disintegrates people.
Are you sure? Because then that leads credence leaves no. That informs what Darth Vader said to Boba Fett in Episode 5. No disintegrations. So it's like a thing that Mandalorians do. I thought that was neat.
My bad. Never mind. I don't remember that quote, but now I do, and it's just like, wow.
It's
Okay.
dope.
Yeah, all right. I will say it's at least balanced out by the fact that it's cartridges, you know? So he's
Yeah,
got a
yeah.
finite amount. He can't just
Mhm.
spam it,
Yeah.
which is good. I liked Baby Yoda in this episode. He's just
Yeah.
like, he shows up and he stands up and then he gets put back in his crib. And then we do it all over again, and it's great.
I
Um,
do I do wonder because we don't get to see his face, but it seems on some level he's sort of softening to Baby Yoda, even in the episode prior. I mean, it could have been for money that he saved Baby Yoda, but it could have also been because it's really cute and he doesn't want it to die. Um,
mhm.
I don't know, and it reaching out to help him, I feel like maybe I don't know in what direction this show is going, but it would really be interesting to see if his heart again softened to that little the little creature, and he ended up
Yeah.
saving it in
I
some
mean, we
way.
don't know if it's even a softening heart to begin with because like then again, he did have that like no. See, he had a back and forth with the robot, right? He was trying to say,
Mhm.
"Hey, my objectives was keep him alive." And he's like, no, terminate." And then he shoots the guy. Like at no
Mhm.
point have we seen him have that moment where he's like, "Do I want to kill him or do I not?" It's more like he's always been as soon as he's seen Baby Yoda, he's like, "Uh-oh. I can't hit that moral grade, you know? I can't cross that line." So I feel like that might have something to do with the flashbacks we got in the
Mhm.
last episode between, what seemed to be him and himself as a child being, people attacking and killing his parents and cred,
Mhm.
that kind of stuff. So I feel like he's he's already there morally. It's just now he's gonna like take to this thing a little bit more and bond to it more than he probably expected, which I
Mhm.
think is gonna be good. I'm looking
Yeah.
forward to this.
Yeah, definitely.
Wow.
Um, I also found it weird how nonchalant he was about like the tether he put on Baby Yoda. Like he dragged him into the Jawa firefight, thinking he'd be all right. And then
Yeah.
also he was fine with bringing him into the butthole that that
Well, maybe
rhino
not
thing
into
crawled
the
out of.
cave, but like,
Right,
around. I
around.
guess. I mean, this he already got jumped earlier this episode, like at the
Yeah.
very beginning. So I get it. Like he doesn't want it to leave it too far out of his sight.
Right, right. And
So
I know he probably wouldn't want to leave it with the Jawas, but I'm pretty
no.
sure the dude who has spoken probably would. Is that an
I don't
Ugnaught?
know about that. I don't know about that because like that guy is specifically wanting trouble to be the farthest thing from him, and that's literally the source of the trouble because people can track it for some reason.
Okay, yeah, but I understand in the sense that he probably doesn't want to put that guy in danger, but from the point of like he trusts this guy, I think enough trust has been built up to where he would be,
At the end of the
more.
day, this serviced us to have the Force be on display by the Baby
Yeah.
Yoda. So I'm this it's cool with me. Yeah.
Fair. I wonder if, like we can speculate on this as much as we want. We probably won't get answers for a little bit, but
Hmm.
is it a force sensitive species or is it just that the only ones that we've seen of them are force sensitive?
I feel like it's a Force sensitive species. I feel
I
like
know
I feel like I've heard that too before. I don't know why.
there's not much that we
Yeah.
know, honestly, but
Uh,
I mean, I have a feeling since it's Star Wars, it's definitely leaning that way. Like it's just,
mhm.
ooh, a rare species that has one gimmick.
Oh,
You
it's a
know what I
Yoda.
mean? Yeah.
Ooh, we know what Yodas do. Yeah, they
Yeah.
do. They move things with the mind. That's what a Yoda does.
Also, also, I found it really weird that the butthole cave had mud around it as if it pooped it all out. I don't know.
Dude, have you not seen like a burrow from like a wild like gosh, like a beaver or something? Like I don't know if you've ever watched those videos on YouTube where, you get mindlessly caught in those animal videos. There's videos about like minks hunting these giant rats or beavers on the side of a creek, and that's literally what they look like.
Oh,
They claw out
buttholes?
all the mud. Yeah, and then it just looks like
Okay.
there's just poop around the
Yeah,
around
I
the
mean,
front of
look,
the.
that doesn't make it any less visually hilarious to me that it was a butthole that had poop
Okay,
around it.
yeah.
That
Also,
is
I'm not.
that is the biting commentary that I am leaving for this episode.
Yeah, sure. I for a hot minute I thought that the hairy rhino was gonna be the
A
rhino
reek.
from episode 2.
Yeah, the reeks. But
Yeah,
I was hoping for it. My
yeah,
brother asked me if that was it, and I was like, he doesn't have the this one, but maybe it's
yeah.
like a subset of that species. I'm not sure.
I mean, we still got him getting like trampled a little bit,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
it works. I get the parallel. I'll take that.
Mhm.
I'll take that
I
one.
mean, on one hand, I know that you came into this wanting to see a Mandalorian at like his peak, and seeing like, oh yeah, cool Mandalorian, just a person that could hold their own against a Jedi. he didn't
Well,
seem like that this
eventually,
episode,
we'll
but
get there. I feel
yeah,
like,
yeah.
yeah.
I'm not saying that I didn't like it. I really liked, him actually fighting through the issue. you know, and it not being, I
It's
mean, I
rough and
guess he
tumble.
was saved by the Force, but like him not being able to do it himself, like not the cop out of that. So we
Hmm.
actually get, these really interesting fights. And I will say the fights this episode were a little bit more, we got to, put the camera back a little bit more and we got to
Yeah,
see a bit more of the rough and
I
tumble.
definitely appreciated that. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Um, And yeah, just the brawl with that I almost said Rancor. The brawl with the rhino looking thing. It's definitely neat, interesting, something we don't really get often.
Dude, he
Um,
had so much mud on him. He was so like he was covered in
I
that
know.
stuff.
I really hope the first thing they put back together of his ship was the washing machine.
Right? Like
Like, how do you wash that?
I felt dirty just looking at that because he was slipping sliding all over the place with that level of mud. And
Yeah.
I'm just like, dang man. I mean, they conveniently had none of it encasing the visor. It was,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
but that's of course. He's still
I
got a
mean,
seat.
I'm sure like during the fight, he probably, you know what I mean?
Mm,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
And
I wasn't
it's
exactly
funny to me. Oh, go ahead.
I wasn't exactly convinced that he that little shank he stabbed in the like side of his
Oh, yeah.
maw actually killed, to be honest. But
And on
okay.
top of that, like it seemed like this is the first time he's encountered that beast. So how would he have been able to find like its
Hmm.
weak spot that quickly?
Yeah, a little
Um,
convenient.
yeah, but whatever. It was fun.
Sure. Hmm.
I like the of all the practical. The baby Yoda being a puppet is really cool to see. Like everything has this very grounded look.
Except for when
It's
Baby
so
Yoda
much
ate
so.
that frog.
Yeah, exactly. Like so much so that when they do use CGI or any manipulation, it's painfully noticeable. But it isn't like TV level
Yeah, this is at
graphics.
least this is
It's
better than
somewhere.
B. This is definitely better than B movie
Yeah.
CG
And
for
you know
sure.
what? I was just rewatching Justice League, and it's about 1,000 times better than Steppenwolf. So I can't complain really. Um,
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Overall, though, I am excited to see where his travels take him next. Like
I think
each
the biggest sorry, continue.
Oh, the I feel like the end of each episode is a really good sort of bookend to that specific part of the adventure. And I think, as much as, I like long running stories that you could like technically put together in one long string, this has a nice stop and start to it that
It
I
does very much feel like those Clone Wars type things where it's like, yeah, we wrapped up the episode.
yeah.
Kind of thing.
Well,
Hmm.
Clone Wars did have a few like
Arcs. Hmm.
yeah, it took a while for certain ones. But this definitely is a really good episodic show because we run across a lot of episodic shows that um lean in too hard on the episodic part and don't have so much of an overarching structure. I think this strikes a really perfect balance between,
I
episodic.
personally believe we're going too slow because I wanted him at least off of the planet by the end of the like and he kind of is by the end of the episode, but I wanted him off the planet sooner than this. Like I wanted to see what would happen with the Yoda as he's in space or as he returns back. I'm excited to see what he does with the whole transaction.
Mhm.
But I mean, we're it's cool. We got to revisit the Jawas. That was something that was fun, and how he like, his little Indiana Jones moment where he was trying to climb up the side and
Yeah.
almost gets like, hit by the cliff. I'm on board with this. This was the action I was looking for this kind of show, honestly. It's just
Yeah.
okay, change of scenery. We've done the Desert Planet episodes. Let's do some space maybe. I like some space.
Okay. And I feel like to your point, wanting more out of an episode, I feel like it's the right response for a show like this. No, I'm being serious because like you want the audience to want more, and it wouldn't like if you didn't, it wouldn't be working. If you were completely
Hmm.
satisfied, they
Hmm.
have to rope you into the next one. So I think as a show, this functions perfectly. And I think we got the right amount. And I said I knew people thought it stopped too short, and I was like expecting it, but I'm glad to see that this format is roping people into the next.
Even though I knew, even though I knew it was going to cut short, I looked at the distance between where we were at and the end of the episode on like that timeline. I'm like, whoa, there's still like a lot. All right, we're good. We're good. We'll make it off the planet. And then the credits hit, and I'm like, what the? And there's like this big chunk at the end, and it's like, what is left here? And it's just credits. And I'm like, oh my God, I was deceived. I had the idea that I had more time, and it was, I'm not,
Look,
fooled
man,
me.
people
You
need
got
are
me.
are you sure? Like people need to get their credit out of this. There are names of people that need to get credit for this work that they
It
did.
was
And
just,
it is a very good product.
it is.
I'm not going to complain.
Low roll, and I am going to complain. I am going
Sure.
because
I'm
I
grateful
cool,
for
cool.
the entertainment.
But I'm
But
looking
yeah,
forward to more nonetheless, just like you are.
exactly.
So
Yeah.
end of
So
the day.
is there anything else you wanted to add for this episode? Any booty holes that you wanted to touch on?
Nope.
No? All right, cool. So, guys, thanks for watching. If you like this episode, hit that like button and subscribe if you want to hear more from us each week. Tell us in the comments down below what you thought about this episode. And yeah, that's about it. Keep it juicy.
See ya.
Oh, you for a second there, I thought you like cut out or something.